What is going on, guys? It is your boy Dave. It's been a while since I've hosted in a podcast, just because Road to Rift Apart was like 6 months ago. You know what I'm saying? But Road to Forbidden West, of course, this is the weekly podcast dedicated to any and all things Horizon Forbidden West, from news, lore, reactions, and upon release, I'll review along with the spoiler cast to end the series. But with me, of course, the Plat Champion, PS Trophy Room's other half, Joe, MrBadBit. How are you doing, good sir?
I don't know about the Plat Champion, but I'm happy to be here.
I just made up those. If you want to, I don't know if you have, a particular subtitle that you like to go as, or
honestly, I don't.
I can definitely workshop that. No?
That's workshopping, because you know what, people are expecting now like 900 platinums, and I think I have like 43. But I have the ones that matter. Platinums. I have the Bloodborne plat. I'm gonna get that Sekiro plat in about 6 hours. So it's happening.
I feel like I'm dodging a few bullets near and there, just because I feel like, because I don't go for a lot of platinums. Like if I'm going for a platinum, it's because like I really care about the game. You know what I'm saying? My last plat, I think, was like Ghost, but that's like kind of like an easy plat, whatever. That's not that crazy. Yeah. I want to get FF7 Remix plat eventually in my life, but that's
too crazy.
I'm like kind of almost there, low key. Like I got the hardest one out of the way, which was beat the game on hard. So that's like the hardest thing.
Oh yeah, then everything else is just cleanup.
That's what I'm saying. It's just like at some point I'll just get to that. But how you been? How's the weather?
You know what? It's been pretty good weather. It snowed, and I'm just now, the hype has finally gotten to me that we are weeks away as of recording to Horizon Forbidden West. It's in me now.
I love those Twitter countdown accounts. I think we're like 40 days. We're almost there. We're like under a month. It's like Horizon, and then my birthday. We lit.
Ooh, okay.
We lit. We're all good. Yeah. We're all good. But some housekeeping here, of course, to catch us up to speed. Catch us over here on YouTube.com/PlayStation Source, as well as podcast services like Apple Podcasts, Google Play, Spotify, etc. via our anchor link down below in the description. Like the video and rate the podcast. Help us get seen by more viewers so we can grow the PSS family. Down below as well, let us know what you like or dislike about the show. I'll take dislikes too. It's all good. I'll take the yin with the yang. And connect with us further on Twitter and Discord in that description as well. Feeling generous? Become a member of the channel with the join button on YouTube. Become a $1 Prince tier member, just like the people Musa. And our $5 King tier members, just like Caleb Kaiser, Psyquest Sean, the Arachnite, and of course the homie Owen. And of course, you can check out the newly started this week's stream series for Horizon Zero Dawn. We're just streaming the critical main story. I am playing it outside of streaming on some side stuff. You know what I'm saying? Trying to get all those upgrades and everything, so that way it's not as time consuming during streams to get through the main story. So definitely check out that stream series. We did 2 streams this week. Definitely check out that. And I'm talking for too long. You know what? I feel like I didn't let you give a proper intro for yourself. You know what I'm saying? So for those unaware, who is Joe, MrBadBit? Who are you, my man?
Well, you know what? My name is Joseph, aka MrBadBit. I host a PlayStation podcast by the name of The Trophy Room, a PlayStation podcast, where me and my best friend Kyle talk about the latest, the greatest in all things PlayStation each and every Thursday. And yeah, we've been coming off our biggest year ever, and 2022 looks to be even bigger than that. So if you liked my voice during this show and you're like, you know what, I like what he had to say about Horizon, let me see what he has to say about PlayStation in general, well, you know what, follow us over there, the Trophy Room PlayStation podcast, on Apple Podcasts, on Spotify, on YouTube, wherever you get the show, you can find us. And if you can't find us there, you let me know at MrBadBit on Twitter or at PS Trophy Room on Twitter, and we'll solve that ASAP. But yeah, that's who I am, man. The cool thing about Horizon, real talk, this is the game that started the Trophy Room. So I have a lot of fond memories with Horizon in general. So yeah, thank you for letting me intro myself.
Of course. No, I mean, one thing that you pointed out over the break too, was that when you go to Spotify and search up PlayStation, you're the first one that pops up. You know,
Yeah.
not Beyond, not the official PlayStation podcast. You know, shout out to I forgot. Oh, shout out to Sid Schumann, the homie. You know, you gotta love Sid. I feel like he'd be a good guy to get a drink with. You know,
He seems like a fun chap.
Definitely. But hey, Trophy Room at number 1. You love to see it. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to Patreon as well. Definitely go support that Patreon, y'all.
Thank you.
You know what I'm saying? Keeps the lights on over there at the Trophy Room.
It really does. We're able to do a lot of really cool stuff because of, our amazing patrons, including yourself, Kev. Thank you so much.
I had to do it.
It really does help us out. So yeah, thank you.
For sure. Absolutely. I'm gonna have you talk a little bit more because why not? You detailed in what have you been playing.
Yeah.
You've been having a little bit of altercation with Sekiro. Shadows Die Twice. How you feeling? You know what I'm saying? I have some thoughts about these games, but
yeah,
I want you to go ahead.
Well, real talk before we get into the goodness that is Horizon, I have a thing of how I game where I can't really usually tackle multiple games at once. So like I'll have a single player game and I'll have my multiplayer game that I play with my friends on the side. But like that single player experience, that's the thing I'm always, honed in on. So that said, I want to get into Horizon, the Frozen Wilds, because I have not beaten that DLC before I get into Forbidden West next month. But I'm playing Sekiro, and I'm really, really liking Sekiro. And I wanted to play that game because it was, another dev I stand for is From Software. And this is one that's kind of on my backlog. So I wanted to play their latest before their latest comes out as well. And for the most part, I think Sekiro has the best combat in a From Software game that I've experienced. It's fantastic. And I think some of their boss fights might just be the best boss fights in a game, because after you beat it, there's no better feeling. There's no better feeling than you're doing a sword clash dance with that boss, and you just nail it, and it's just that sense of accomplishment. It's great. But there are some boss fights in that game where when people talk about, man, there should be easy modes in games, these are definitely the bosses that I think those people are talking about, because some of these guys don't feel fair, seem fair, and follow the rules of the game. And so it's a bit frustrating at times, but I'm mere hours away from platting that game so that I can finally go on and play Horizon. And in my rank of best From Software title, it is still Bloodborne as the GOAT. It is then a very close second. I mean, razor, finish, Dark Souls 3, and then we got Sekiro below that.
I see. I get a lot of slander around my spaces because I refuse to play Bloodborne until it's 60 frames. How do you feel about that?
Well, you know what, man? Real talk, I'm the type of gamer where, fun fact, playing Halo, I notice when I go from 60 to 120 in that game when I switch my modes or my input. When I'm playing Miles Morales, I notice when I switch from performance to fidelity. But if I'm just in a game and there's no switches or knobs or whatever, I typically don't notice the FPS until things chug. And I love Bloodborne, but old Yarnum chugs. Anytime that there's smoke on screen, that baby is chugging. It's a jalopy, but it's a great jalopy. It gets you where you need to go.
Yeah, it's a lot. It's a lot. You know what I'm saying? I think the PS5 really did change that for me, where it's when it's oh, it was cool on PS4 era when okay, cool, a game ran at 60, that was a nice almost bonus, even going into late gen games where most of the first party games were still 30 frames, right? Horizon, God of War, those were all 30 frames. It was a 45 frame on PS4 Pro at performance mode, but you know what I'm saying, the 60 frames wasn't as accessible as it is now with a PS5.
Yeah.
And I just can't do 30 anymore. I just can't.
I get it. I get it.
I can't do it. You know what I'm saying? On top of, also hearing from like Digital Foundry videos about how Bloodborne runs, and like it's not as smooth as you would hope, even on PS5, right? Like there are still moments where it's just not as optimized as you would like it to be. So I'm hoping for, some sort of a remaster or something like that.
The remake that's coming? Yeah.
Do I think
I'll be on the road.
Yeah.
Oh, it is.
I think so, for sure.
Yeah. I definitely forgot to tweet something crazy, but yes, it definitely is. I have the boldest prediction. You're going to see a Bloodborne announcement by the end of this year. No doubt about it. Yeah.
I believe it. You want to lay down a month.
You have to. In fact, I'm putting it on Twitter right now. I'm confident.
I like it. I like that. Because I'm like, at that point, like if they don't do it, that's just like money that they're leaving on the table.
Yeah.
That's easy money. I want to ask you one last thing while we're on the topic of Sekiro. You know what I'm saying? And just like from software games, I'm sure you've heard the old rigmarole that there's gonna be Blue Point that's doing some sort of remaster for Bloodborne, right?
Yep.
And then there's also other rumors that they're allegedly doing a potential sequel to Bloodborne. I have a co-host on Jewel Clicks Games Catch, Christian Buckley. I'm sure you're aware. He loves From Software, right?
Yeah.
And he's not down with anyone doing a Bloodborne 2 if it's not From Software.
Oh, you'll be down.
Which I guess
don't worry about it.
Huh?
I said when he sees it, he'll be down on it. He'll be like, okay.
That's like I've been telling him, like, I understand that sentiment, right, of like getting a sequel from an IP that's not from the original creators. Like, I get that like hesitation, but I've been trying to tell him, yo, just like have an open mind, Yeah. Maybe it's fire.
Real talk. John Watts didn't create Spider-Man, didn't make the first Spider-Man movie, probably made arguably the best Spider-Man movie. So like, Stan Lee, created Spider-Man. There's been a lot of people that have made some of the best Spider-Man stories that don't involve Stan Lee. So just because we love a creator or a developer that makes this game doesn't mean that someone can't come and do it justice. As long as that person in charge is doing that thing justice and is honoring that, the source material, you could literally do whatever. Good example as well, Jedi Fallen Order.
Fire.
Great game. A Souls-like in a mainstream sense. It is terrific, and it is a game that if you're not great at Souls games, you could get into that game no problem. It's a great game, but that studio before that just made first-person shooters, right? Made Medal of Honor, made Call of Duty, made Titanfall, and then went Star Wars. So to me, it doesn't mean that, I would love, don't get me wrong, I would love Miyazaki there in some type of capacity. But I think when you see Blue Point's game, you're going to be like, okay, I think that idea, once you see it, you're going to be fine with it.
Yeah. I mean, I have another example that I was going to throw. I'm glad you brought up Star Wars, right? Dave Filoni.
Yes.
Like no other man has understood Star Wars as much as Dave Filoni knows Star Wars, next to George Lucas himself.
And sometimes I think Dave Filoni knows it a little bit better.
You're not wrong. You're not wrong. Like, what? Early Clone Wars, it has its rough times, you know what I'm saying?
Sure.
But as a cohesive project, Clone Wars is incredible.
Yeah.
The Mandalorian's incredible.
That's some of the best Star Wars.
Been good. Yeah. Are we serious right now? Like, Mandalorian is the best Star Wars we've had in I don't even know how long.
Yeah. Rogue One, best Star Wars movie. I'll say it.
That's the best Star Wars movie. Okay.
Yeah, man.
I respect it. I respect that answer. I do. I respect it.
You don't need Skywalkers to be a good one, or the Skywalkers. You don't need the Skywalkers to make a good Star Wars. I'll say it.
I also agree with that. Like, I also agree with that too. Like, I would love to see. I have an idea for like a Star Wars movie. Like, I just want to see like a young teenager being affected by the main movie's like implications on society. In like a given planet. Like I don't need to see like Jedi all the time or the Sith all the time or etc. Right? The Empire all the time. Yeah. I'm definitely with you on that. But
you know,
I've been
that's a
playing-
Star Wars podcast.
You right.
I want to know about what you've been playing because it has a lot to do about what we're talking about today.
It does. I want to get more deep into it in the topic of the show, but just like service level stuff, I've been playing Horizon Zero Dawn, of course.
Nice.
You know what I'm saying? I started my replay this week. Once again, streaming the main critical path of the game on youtube.com/slash PlayStation Source. And they're archived on the channel as well if you want to go back and watch them. I've been really surprised with this game in good ways and bad ways. You know what I'm saying? Like, I didn't think like this game was perfect when I played it, but I really was high on it, like really enjoyed it back in 2017. Playing it now, I'm like definitely getting more of like a reassurance of my feelings on this game, right? Where I'm so, you know what, actually that's not even true. I'm enjoying it more than I thought I was going to, right?
Nice. Going
back into it. You know what I'm saying? Like, definitely I feel like the aspects of this game that I forgot about are definitely hitting harder, but there are definitely some things that like I don't love about this game, you know, that like I don't think are great, but I still think it's so far so good. You know, I think I'm like 7-8 hours in, I think, already. Like, I did like I did like 6 hours on stream this week, and then like 2 or 3 hours just by myself, just ranking up and everything, and getting all my satchels upgraded. You know what I'm saying? I got the unlimited fast travel pack, which that was a choice. That was a choice, huh? To need a resource to fast travel.
I mean,
You know what I'm saying?
I don't fast travel in games. Unless I'm going like
not at all?
No, not at all. Unless it's super inconvenient, I'll like, you know, I'll choose the easier path. But 9 times out of 10, I'm huffing it. And I think the game that really changed that for me is Spider-Man. Actually, speaking of that game, really changed it for me because, for me, fast travel is. It's like we're in an open world game. You know, it's like what is the word I want to use? Antithetical to like the open world aesthetic. I think that's the word. So like to me, it's just like if I'm just going from zone to zone, it's become a much linear process. You know,
like Spider-Man, it's a little bit different just because like the act of traversing is just like so fun, and like that's like half the game. If we're being real, you know what I'm saying? Like as opposed to something like I think I did a little bit of it in like Death Stranding 2, right? Where it's like I'm not doing it every time, but you know, just if it's a long way, it's like, hey, you know what? I'll just go to this campfire nearby and just try it out. You know what I'm saying? Just yeah. I just do it here and there, but I forgot that you needed a resource to fast travel in Horizon. I totally forgot about that.
Oh yeah,
from 2017. But speaking of Horizon, of course, going into the news section, this was a crazy ass coincidence. You know what I'm saying? On Tuesday, I think it was Tuesday or Wednesday? I forgot when they announced Road to Forbidden West.
Monday.
It was our Tuesday. Was it Monday? Was it Monday?
Yeah.
It might have been Monday.
No, you're right. It's Tuesday. I'm sorry.
Early in the week, whichever 3 days we want to say, right? Early in the week, we announced, of course, Road to Forbidden West, this whole podcast here, you know, the next installment in the Road 2 series. And, you know, I'm like, I don't think there'll be any news this week about Horizon or anything like that. Like, I think it might be just a light news week. I don't know. Yeah. And then we get this bombshell, of course, from CES 2022. I'm reading here from Push Square. Robert Ramsey has this great old article here. And he says here, quote, "The Japanese giants just announced that a new Horizon title, Horizon Call of the Mountain, is in development for PlayStation VR 2. You can find the specs and more information down below. Link below in the description to this story. But we have the series creator Guerrilla Games is working alongside the recently acquired Firesprite Games to make this thing a reality. Quote, created for PlayStation VR 2, this unique experience has been designed to push hardware technology, innovation, and gameplay. The stunning visuals and brand new PSVR 2 Sense controllers give a new meaning to being fully immersed in the world of Horizon," reads the blog. And there's also a trailer that they put out for this as well. Not like a ton of footage, but I feel like, you know what, hey, I'm down for this little like teaser right now. And I know in essence it's really hard to show off VR games, right? Yeah. Even like seeing it, you're missing like half of the you know, what makes a VR game, right? Like, I think it's hard to really to advertise a VR game, but to get this little clip, I'm happy about it. This could have easily just been a blog post and maybe some screenshots, and they could have just done that route, you know, but I'm happy that we got a little bit of footage, but it is official.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, first and foremost, PlayStation VR 2 got names, Sense controllers. We got some more info on that as well. Video up on the channel if you want to get up to date on that whole side of it. But yeah, we have Guerrilla Games and Firesprite Games, the newly acquired studio, making a Horizon game. Joe, what are your thoughts?
I'm hyped. Really easy answer for me, man. I love PlayStation VR. I think it's a great piece of tech. And the one thing I do want to mention, because I saw some disappointment as well as myself of, oh, it's not wireless. Like, we don't have a wireless option. Like, you know, just unplug the cord and we could still play. And I've seen a lot of people come back with the tech inside of this thing is beefy. It is incredibly powerful, and so much so that they wonder what the price is going to be, more so that why can't this be in a wireless input. So to me, I'm super excited for the tech alone. Now knowing that we're going to, you know, probably that game is a launch game, have a Horizon game as a launch game for PlayStation VR has me absolutely excited. And it has to be, and it has to have shown promise if PlayStation went out to buy this studio for, I believe it was like $200+ million. So this has me all sorts of excited. What about you?
Yeah, I'm definitely excited, but you shared some tweets that I'm like, you know what? I can't lie. I kind of see where you're coming from, right? Where I believe it was you, right? Who was saying on Twitter that you're afraid of like there not being like a super like straightforward focus in terms of developers making either first party games for PlayStation 5 or for VR, right? But then we do have that quote, I believe from Jim Ryan a few months back, where he was saying that they're more interested in making VR games that can also be played traditionally, right? And they're really gonna aim for that type of halfway medium, which that's an interesting thing as well to see how that all turns out. Like, because at a certain point, it's like, will it not be able to master the VR side of the version of that game versus the traditional side? Like, are there gonna be issues there? So like, but I believe it was you that was saying, you know, that like lack of focus in terms of like, you know, do we want first party developers like making VR titles that only will cater and serve a few million people that buy PSVR 2? You know, like PSVR has sold 5 million, right? Which is a far cry from the 115 plus PS4s out there. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, to me, I shared that tweet from Andy Robinson at VGC of like, is this just gonna split up dev time or the games themselves from, you know, their main catalog? And the thing that I think Andy missed, which he's an incredible reporter, and VGC I have nothing but respect for. I think the thing that I think Andy missed is, right off the start of the show, they're like, here's all of our developers at the moment. We have 17 of them, and all 17 are making PlayStation 5 games. And at the same exact time, I think when we take a look at what they're doing with VR, we could take a look at PSVR's first bout. I don't think that really took much away from their main focus, which was the PlayStation 4. You know, Shuhei said it real perfectly of like, at the launch of PSVR 1, he was just like, this is our PlayStation 1. Yeah. So please understand, we are learning this tech and you're learning it with us. It was really transparent and very vulnerable of a company to make such a statement when launching a very expensive piece of hardware. So I don't think it's going to split up dev time. I think what you're probably seeing from Sony is them actually expanding their internal teams, so that there is like, you know, there's a studio like Firesprite or London studio that's going to make, you know, dedicated VR games. And then you're going to probably see some other studios make some internal VR games, and some studios make a hybrid approach. Like I have no doubt in my mind Insomniac's working on PSVR 2. Like they had, I think, like 5 teams before they were bought out by Sony, and I think 2 of which were working on VR stuff, and they were a huge Oculus proponent for a very long time. So like I think with their expanding internal studios, that ain't gonna be a problem.
Yeah. My only hesitation is like when I think about my beloved and our beloved PlayStation Vita. You know what I'm saying? Our sweet king, the PlayStation Vita, where that had some great first party support at the gate, at the front gate of Vita, right? And that definitely was pretty much done by like 2013. Of there not being a ton of first party support, and they kind of just left that hardware there. I'm not sure if that will happen again, but like I'm just like, ooh, like when we see like, because last PSVR, for the first PSVR, like there was Astrobot Rescue Mission, and like there was the Until Dawn game, that VR game, but we never got like a God of War PSVR, right? We never got like a full Spider-Man VR experience. I think there was something Spider-Man.
Yeah, but it was like a movie tie-in thing.
Yeah, like that wasn't like a full-on game, right? But like this seems to be like a full-on like game that will be canon to Horizon and explore a different realm. They have said that there's going to be a new story here that is going to bring players like deeper into the world of Horizon, right? So I'm not sure if like this will be like pertinent to play the next Horizon or whatever, or if it will just nod at it, here and there. But I don't think there was anything to this caliber on the first PSVR in terms of first party. So now that we are seeing this caliber from the first party within PlayStation, I hope that it just doesn't end up being a Vita route where it's cool at the beginning, and then if the sales figures aren't there, it just dips off. You know what I'm saying? So
I don't know if it's gonna be something like that. I truly think that they've poured a lot of money into this, and I think they're taking a look at Oculus and seeing how much money Facebook's pouring into that and going, there's something here that people are taking a bet on. I hate this word as much as all other gamers out there, but like the metaverse is a real thing that people are trying to crack the code of, and PlayStation is trying to crack that code in that VR space. Like this has been, theorized for decades now, and they see that it's coming to reality, and they're just trying to tap which angle it's going to come from. So I think PlayStation and Sony overall wants to be in this theater really bad. And it's cool that they're doing something different from, let's say, a Microsoft.
Right. Hot take, I don't think it's that crazy to assume or think that, with them re-upping that PlayStation Home trademark, I think it's coming back, yo. I think they're going to do it in PSVR 2.
Yeah. I know there's something in like Oculus, I think, that has something similar. So yeah, no, I definitely think that's coming.
Yeah. But then here's the thing too, like think of this day one launch line for PSVR 2, right, Joe? Like take a walk with me. Right. We got Horizon Call of the Mountain, right? Yeah. I think that will be a launch title.
Absolutely.
I don't see why you would announce that and not be a launch title, right? What if they secure Half-Life Alyx? Launch title. What if they secure Resident Evil 4 VR? You know what I'm saying? That's a pretty strong that's a strong day one lineup. That's gonna entice a lot of people. I'm definitely more enticed than ever. I think a lot of it has to do with that one cable setup. I'm being real. I was not about to buy the first PSVR and have a ton of extra wires that, I'm just not trying to deal with that. But having it be a one plug thing, which I do gotta kind of address. The front, it's through USB-C for the PSVR 2, so I'm good. My front USB, a little piece of the USB port broke off, so that's like I can't use the front USB.
That's a problem.
That's
a big problem.
There's like 3 in the back, so I've been able to be okay, right? But it is kind of like a damn, because I don't want to send it to Sony and them have it for like 6 weeks. I'm just not trying to do that, So
no one's about that life.
PS5 Pro, I'll be there. I'll get that USB fix. You know what I'm saying? But that's pretty much it for that. Yeah, I mean, I believe you've covered it, but like I'm definitely sold on PSVR 2. I'm more sold than ever on getting it for sure. We'll see if it actually drops this year. That I question, but
well, here's the thing: since we're a Horizon cast, what do you think that game is?
What do I think that game is?
Yeah, what do you like?
I am curious. Yeah,
what is it? Like, is this just a walking sim? Is this like a Time Crisis-esque situation where it's like a shoot 'em up type of deal? Like, what do you think this game is?
Yeah, because so much of Horizon is kind of like, having a lot of mobility. I feel like having a lot of those slow down moments when you're trying to aim at a particular component on the machine and how to best like address that. So I think in VR, I imagine that has to be limited in some way. So I do wonder, like, I hope it's not just like a on rails like shooting gallery type of thing.
Right.
We like didn't see our character walking in that teaser. I think that would be a choice that I'm not sure if
I wouldn't be down with,
out,
honestly. Yeah, if that was just like a walking sim, that'd be disappointing.
Yeah. So I just wonder like how like movement is gonna be in this VR game. But I do think you're gonna be like pulling back the bow, picking out different arrows and stuff like that, and like trying to pick out the best ammo and arrows and equipment for the machine that you're facing and everything.
Sure.
And I imagine it's just gonna be. I imagine we're just following a side tribe that may be like referenced in Horizon Forbidden West, because I assume there will be tendrils that will tee up and come from this game that we're about to get that bleeds into Call of the Mountain. But yeah, that's what I think. Like, I think we'll be exploring a side tribe. I do think we'll be like picking out different ammo types of arrows, and we'll be actually like doing the movement with our sense controllers.
How crazy it, and I mean, this would be really cool. Talk about metaverse is you're playing Horizon Forbidden West. These characters are introduced and have to go do something, find that mountain that they're being called to, because
This
again,
fucking mountain, bro.
the mountains have significance in Horizon for sure. So like, they have to go out on a side mission, so you kind of like wave them away. And they're kind of, they are that side piece, but like still equally important to the overarching idea that is this game. I think that would be fucking dope. I don't know if I concurs, but I actually like that. It's like a nice little tie-in to stitch together what is a broader universe.
Yeah. I think and I'll be looking out for it when we play it next month. Oh, I can't believe it's next month. That's crazy. But like, I really hope it's like a very like deliberate, like, hey, okay, this squad's gonna go do this, and that's called the mountain. That we'll play later on. I bet it'll be like that. I bet it will. I
do think this game's probably more akin to, I think like we're gonna have our bow and arrow, we're gonna be shooting it. Like I think it is that Time Crisis-esque game. But it would be nice to have some sort of free movement around the environment. I just don't know how you do that in a VR space, but that's why they're developers, not me.
Yeah. I hear you. We'll see. I know we'll be able to feel that with those sense controllers, all that tech. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Also, I didn't say it. What last thing I'll say about this. I'm with you on like, this VR headset gonna be expensive. I think this joint might be like, I don't see how it's under $400.
It needs to, it needs to be around there for sure for it to succeed.
Yeah, like it's gonna cost as much as PS5. I still think that they have a leverage on being like the best and low key the only VR choice in the console market, huge market. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, it's definitely gonna be a little pricey for sure. I think it's gonna be closer to the price of a PS5 if anything. But
true.
We'll see. We will
see.
Moving on here, of course, episode 1, the topic of the show. You know what I'm saying? I just want to just get a nice like little episode 0. I know you haven't started Horizon yet on your playthrough. You know what I'm saying? But just kind of get like from a ground level perspective, Oh my God, are we 5 years away from Horizon Zero Dawn? No, that can't be.
Yeah.
I think that is right. Wow.
Yeah. I know, time.
That game's 5.
An enigma.
That's crazy. But yeah, we'll like reflect on 5 years ago how you felt about Horizon. But what I want to hit first is you teed up a little bit earlier on in the episode. There would be no trophy room without Horizon, right? I want you to tell that backstory. I've heard it once, but I really want to, hear that.
Share for the audience. They deserve to know.
Absolutely.
So yeah, back in 2017, a little game called Horizon came out. I was very excited to play it. I got the statue behind me where Aloy looks a little sickly because, those are how those statues are always going to look. And I, when you say you have problems with this game, I think the biggest problem with Horizon for me, and probably one of my only big negatives is, man, that first couple of hours, they're a little rough. A little slow.
Yeah.
The little girl portions.
Yeah. I think that loses a lot of people too. Yeah.
Yeah. So for me, I remember playing it. I was digging it, but I wasn't infatuated with it. And at the time, a week afterwards, Breath of the Wild comes out. And that's what everybody's playing. I'm playing it with my brother, and we're kind of getting that nostalgic factor of when we were kids again. It was great, and I kind of forgot about Horizon. But E3 2017 happened, and I was like, okay, I want to de-stress from all that is E3. I need to go. I need to play this game. Right. I need to see what the hype is all about. And I did nothing but play Horizon at that point for about 2.5 weeks straight, and I platted it. And I was like, this game is phenomenal. In fact, man, I love it so much. I need to talk about this game. As much as I loved Zelda and it took me out of it in the beginning, there was something about Horizon that I felt was just more powerful. And I think it comes from the story. Because real talk, real as rain. We're all about the cry counter in the trophy room here, so we'll start it here as well. We'll bring it over. That ending, if you don't even get an emotion out of that ending, you're an animal. I don't think you have feelings. I think you need to see a doctor because that's worrisome.
At first I was trying to, but the very end, right before, right,
yeah, the one that makes you go and hug your parents and give them a call. So that is for me that moment. Man, this story was so great. This world, I've never experienced anything like it. It seemed so foreign until you look over and there's a fire hydrant somehow there. Right. It looks so. They did such. The environmental team, man, did such a remarkable job of literally making what we see as modern society look ancient. And at the same exact time, you have Aloy, and I think she is one of the greatest characters in video games because I could not help at every turn relate to her struggles of being an outcast, of not feeling like they belong, not feeling like they're understood, and finding their own path and paving their own path. And so, Aloy is just a remarkable character that I loved from start to finish. And I think to me, that was at the end of the year, that was my game of the year. I was like, there is nothing, you could talk about the formula, blah, 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 but there was nothing like Horizon that I've played that gave me such a powerful story in an open world. And when we talk about Guerrilla, we often talk about how they're known for the Killzone franchise.
Right.
These first-person shooters, and how they literally went up toe-to-toe against, someone like Nintendo with Breath of the Wild. We often just talk about how Breath of the Wild is some game that is a masterpiece when it's a flawed one. But they've been doing that for a minute and they reinvented their formula. Horizon literally had to make their own formula with a team that's never had experience doing the thing they did, and they went toe to toe. It was like a Rocky 1 situation. May not have won that fight, but man, they got close. And so for me, Horizon is just a powerful story outside of the fact that the combat is goddamn fun. It's great. I love fighting those the Mecha Godzilla looking son of a bitch that is a Thunderdrop. I love it. So for me, that's my love for Horizon. Again, I love that game so much. I made a PlayStation podcast because of it, and now it is where it is. So I owe a lot to the Guerrilla team over there for crafting such a beautiful game.
Yeah, like I thought what really resonated with me, what you were saying, was like the actual open world, right? And like the world of Horizon, right? Like it's something that like like just saying what it is doesn't do it justice, right? But like being in there, right? And like when I love when like games refer to our society in the old tense, right? Like in terms of like the metal world, right?
Yeah.
The old world. You know, I love that shit, right? So to like have Aloy refer to, you know, the metal world, right? And like when they go into the ruins, right? And like how our society right now is literally buried under the surface in Horizon. Like it's such a cool concept. Like I don't think that people like understand how fucking cool Horizon is, you know. And like you have these machines that act like, for all intents and purposes, like they're dinosaurs, you know what I'm saying? But like that is so cool, you know. Like there's a lot of like really cool art in Horizon, a lot of really cool concepts in there that I was reminded of playing through it again, you know what I'm saying? Combat of course feels great. The only thing though, I really don't like combat with humans in Horizon, you know.
Yes, and
maybe
you know,
maybe that's harsh, but like it's just not hitting, you know. It's not hitting. Yeah.
No, I think a lot of people talked about that. That's why I think with Horizon, like the showcase that we had last year, showcasing that melee combat's greatly improved,
way better.
It looks like, I think it looks almost as in depth as the range combat and fighting humans. There's so much now more to it that I feel you there. They definitely took that criticism and really built upon it.
Yeah. And also, you know what, we talked a little bit about fast travel in Horizon, right? And like actually I just thought about this too. Like I feel like another reason as to why I use fast travel a little bit more in Horizon than I like typically would in another game is that like I don't think they nailed traversal in the first game, right? Which I think they have showed us how they are amending that in this new game, of course, with the grapple zip line and the glider and everything. Like, and I was just looking at gameplay yesterday of what they've shown, and it seems like those aren't on cooldowns or anything like that. Like I was trying to look at the UI and see if there was some sort of like limit to using the grapple hook too much. I didn't see anything, so I'm hoping that is intentional. That way, like those are going to be mobility things that you'll always have access to. It will always be able to move a little bit quicker than on foot or sprinting, right? But yeah, like I don't think traversal was like really nailed in Horizon. It's not like a crazy giant, like it's not a crazy big game from open world standpoint, but like it's still pretty big, like, you know what I'm saying?
No,
so,
it very much it was big for what it was. And I understand what you're saying there, though I think because it has been 5 years, there's been so many other really amazing open world games. You know, the one that comes to mind is like Red Dead, where that the traversal there, for better or for worse, each biome kind of felt like it blended into each other, whereas I can understand the critique of like each biome kind of feels like a zone in World of Warcraft that's separated from mountains, rather than feeling like it's being, you know, gradually turned into from one environment to the other at times. So I understand that critique as well. And I think that is one thing that I'm also confident they're going to probably amend as well. I'm really interested to see how they turn, because I think that location is, San Francisco. Spoiler alert, you see the Golden Gate Bridge there in the trailer. So like, I want to see what they do with that environment. That's going to be nuts.
Yeah, that, and then when I did a breakdown of which I haven't broken down the actual gameplay yet on my channel. I'm gonna do that eventually, but I broke down the trailer that we got from the reveal, and there's the scene where you have the like projected like red dragon that flies around Aloy. You know what I'm saying? After she brushes off sand off that one thing, that's Las Vegas.
Yeah.
So it's gonna be cool to see that as well, like all those, like to like see the strip broken down and like however long it's been since the old world, that's gonna be cool too. But I'm with you on that. Yeah. Like, you know what? I've actually never thought about that, but you're right. I've never thought about the fact that like the biomes in Horizon like don't really blend. They kind of just start like here's snow. And then right over there's desert. I didn't even really think about that till now. So it's pretty safe to say that you liked the first game. It's pretty, I think it's pretty safe to say, right?
Yeah,
for sure.
Love
it. Leading up to Horizon Zero Dawn, right? Like, did you have expectations? And were they met, or did this kind of just like creep up on you? Like, how was it like leading up to the first game with Horizon Zero Dawn?
Excited, because this is Sony. We criticize, I think, PlayStation a little bit too harshly, where it's like they don't take risks. It's just an open world game, blah, 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 blah. Where it's just like, no, this is a huge risk. Again, a first-person shooter known for a developer tackling this game is ambitious enough. It going, you know what? You guys know Monster Hunter? Of course you don't, West. The world hasn't come out yet. We're going to put that type of element in our games with all these monsters that you're fighting and their robots. That's ambitious. That's like, hey, we're hunting down Dinobots. That's a pitch. So I was really excited for it. Again, it was then met with Breath of the Wild, and then going back to it again with my, perception, somewhat, I guess, fixed. I knew exactly what I was getting, and I absolutely loved it. That's why this game I am so hyped for it, because it looks so freaking good.
Yeah, I wasn't really feeling that ultra hype until this new year came in. It's like, we are like weeks away. We are weeks away. I'm
the type of guy where it's just like, oh, how excited are you? I'm this excited. Like, I think with my old age, as I've turned 30, and can't resonate with the kids anymore. That's true. You're right. But like, since I can't resonate with the kids anymore, my excitement for things is kind of like floor level. So I'm like, yeah, I'm excited, but I'm not like animated. So like, for me though, I'm the same. Like, once January 1st hit, and then actually even this CES where they doubled down February 18th, it's just like, okay, I'm excited. Now it feels real. Cause like when people are like, Ragnarok's coming out this year, I'm like, oh
yeah, I'm not
Starfield's coming out this year, and I'm like, I have no excitement. I don't know what that game even looks like, or like, I know what it looks like, I don't know what it feels like. So like, to me, knowing now that it's tangible, it's in front of me, it's arriving, I'm excited.
Yeah, me, I like stair step my hype, right? Where it's like, yeah, cool, like I'm, I'll play it when it's there, but like I'm not really like freaking out in the weeks or months leading out to it. But when we get to like 2 months out, when we start saying weeks instead of like months away, it just next step. Like, I'm ready for it. Like I itch for it, like I get like especially week of, I get it like just a itch, like, oh, like I need to play this joint. You know what I'm saying? Very excited for it. And on top of that, of course, like what a Horizon game looks like on PS5, especially. You know, I'm very excited to see that. Very and this is you know what? Also, like what kind of a Horizon kind of marks like. Yes, we had Insomniac last year, of course, right, with Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart. You know, I still think that was a great game overall. Didn't like fall in love with Rift Apart overall as much as I wanted to, but I still thought that was a really great game, right? But seeing like another first party studio have their PS5 outing, you know, with Guerrilla Games, right? Like I'm really intrigued to see what comes in this game, especially with it being on PS5. Since Horizons came out, right, 2017 February as well. Love that it also ended up being a February day as well that it's coming out. That's when the first game came out as well, around this same time. Thankfully, as far as we know, there's no Breath of the Wild 2 near it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Well, there is this little game called Elden Ring.
God damn it. Yeah, there's always something, man. God damn it.
Always something.
Horizon has yet to just shine on its own.
But here's the thing: when people say that too, it's like that game sold like 6-7 million copies in like the first year or something. So like, yeah, it didn't really hurt it. So yeah, it's just like we want the spotlight on this game for a week or two because it's like it's so special, and it's. Yeah, it does piss me off because it's like, yeah, I get it. Breath of the Wild changed things. I get that, but like this is a fantastic game that stands on its own from a developer that did something different. Like, Yep. So yeah, Miyazaki, you done did it, man. Why?
Have your feelings changed or evolved from Horizon since you first played it? We'll call from when you first played it to like now, right? Like is there anything that like has evolved since you first played Horizon Zero Dawn in terms of like how you feel about it?
No, because I definitely know it's a game of its time as well, because if I go back to it right now, I'm like, oh, okay, this is a bit of an older design because again, games like Breath of the Wild have changed the way we look at open world games, and games like Red Dead and Assassin's Creed Odyssey are also phenomenal open world games. Spider-Man as well. So like, I definitely see that it shows its age in some parts when it comes to the level design for sure. But nothing changes for me that it is a fantastic game that as a PlayStation owner, you owe it to yourself to at least give it a shot.
Right. Yeah, I mean, what about you, for me, it's like, honestly, like, it's a game that, like, I played, I enjoyed, and I never went back to, right? I never, like, this is my second playthrough, right? Like, I've only played Horizon once. And it wasn't like, there were just other games, like, God of War came out the year after, Spider-Man was that year as well, and then 2019 we had, like, Death Stranding and Days Gone, etc. Like, I just went on to other games where, like, I don't typically go back immediately and, like, replay a game I just beat,
Yeah.
So once, like, Forbidden West was announced, I was like, okay, cool. Like, all right, let me start begging for a 60 frames patch for Horizon. And thankfully we got that on PS5. So that, when I go back and play it again, we can, just go back with, like, a little bit of, like, a fresh perspective.
Yeah,
of having
that's
like,
60 frames too, by the way. Ooh.
It's so good at 60 frames, bro.
I know.
Smooth, bro.
Oh yeah,
it's smooth. That's something also that people don't know. Like, Horizon Zero Dawn is a beautiful game.
Yeah,
like for real. Yes, the facial animations aren't great.
You know what? That
it is what it is.
It is what it is. If that's your,
that's what I'm saying. I'm like, what? Guys, like, fuck it. It's alright. Just listen to the dialogue, okay?
It's fine.
Yeah. Voice acting isn't horrendous, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's not like it's like a double whammy, right? Yeah. And, like, the audio logs, too, are fucking great as well. But, yeah, like, definitely not trying to excuse the facial animations, but we've seen that they're fixed. in this new game. Like we've definitely seen that with that one dude in the beginning of the gameplay segment where Aloy gives him water and he's like injured.
Yep.
Even Aaron's his facial capture looks really good as well. So it looks like those will be alleviated too. But no, like that 60 frames patch, it runs great. It looks great on PS5 for sure. Definitely. Like it. I think so far still, like, it definitely holds up still. Like, it's not like it looks outdated, you know? There's some things that, like, feel old about Horizon, like, that feel kind of last gen, but it's definitely absolutely still playable.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. But looking forward, right? Horizon Forbidden West, 40 to 41 days, depending on where you're at in the world. Is there something that you have a hope for that you have not talked about on the show yet, right? Like, or is there something that you want to be evolved from the first game, or do you want kind of like a very similar type of overall feel for the game, but just improved in general areas? But like, you know, is there anything to that tone? Like, what's like a hope that you want for in the game, an evolution, or you know?
Great.
What are we looking for? Yeah.
You know, a lot of the things that they've addressed, so like facial animation is for one, traversal, they've definitely tackled that. Melee combat, you see that they've definitely tackled that as well. There's really not much that I've had issue with Horizon, to be honest. I'm like a bit of a fanboy, I guess. I would love to see in the future, whether it's in the sequel, that I would love co-op. And, you know, if you've watched the No Clip Doc, which I hope everybody has, they talked about wanting to do it. And maybe that's like a PS5 exclusive feature, but I would love to have co-op in Horizon. Absolutely.
Spoiler alert, that's a whole episode. I got plans. I got you. Because there's certain threads, there's certain job listings, there's certain LinkedIn bios that you know, there's definitely something multiplayer going on in Gorilla, right? And I really hope it's that, you know. And there's precedents too with Ghost of Tsushima Legends. I don't want to get too deep into it, but like I think it's now more likely.
You think there's gonna be? You think there's gonna be like a multiplayer element to Horizon? Is what you're sounding like.
Oh right. Yeah.
I can't wait for next episode because that's gonna be nuts.
Yeah. We might do that next episode, low key. Yeah, definitely.
Absolutely.
But what am I hoping for? Oh, you know what I really want.
What's that?
You know what I really want, Joe.
Tell me.
What I'm saying. I keep seeing, you know, as I'm in Zero Dawn, I'm out here, you know. I keep seeing these flying machines. You know what I'm saying? And I really
you want to take to the skies.
I want to override these motherfuckers. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm trying to get on one.
Yeah.
I'm really trying to do that. I think they talked about it before, how like just the PS4 just could not handle that. I believe that was the main reasoning.
Yeah.
Now I'm scared. Like, okay, like this game is coming out on PS4. Is that going to be something where that's just a feature that's not in the PS4 version? Is that possible for them to do? I don't know, but I would love that.
I would love that instead of a fast travel. But for me, I always think back to, again, World of Warcraft. I believe there was an interview where they're just like, yeah, we kind of regret doing flying mounts in that game because it took you out of the immersion factor of traveling on foot in the environments. Like, all these artists took so long to make you a goddamn mailbox and you're just flying over it. You're not seeing it or experiencing it, right? That's fair. Yeah, maybe like, dude, like Pokemon it up. Maybe you could call this pterodactyl onto the field. You know, you're having trouble with that goddamn robot tortoise, and you're just like,
yeah,
pterodactyl, bro, I need your help. Dive on in. It's like, caw, and you know, just power dives on him.
yeah. Also, like, another thing too that I was thinking about as I'm playing through the first game, and like maybe like I'm forgetting parts that happen in the later end of the game that like that like apply this notion, right? But do machines, like always have to be hostile, right? Like do like humans always have to, like we see in this new game, right? Like we have enemy factions that acquired seemingly the ability to override machines just like Aloy does, right? But then we also see in the gameplay like a guy on a machine and he does like hand gestures to the machines and like orders them to do stuff, right?
Yeah.
So now I think that maybe answers my question, but like I would love to see like a different type of relationship with the machines and humans, and specifically with Aloy, right? Like can we have like a machine that is purely for support,
Right.
like is that like I know we have that in the first game kind of, but like support in a combative way, but like is there another way that like machines can be supportive, you know, aside from combat instances?
I feel like that's a slippery slope to a Flintstone situation. So I understand where you're getting at there. There is some concern because I'm like, what if there's good tribes that have it, and then you just see people riding robo tortoises around the streets, and I'm just like, all right, well, oof.
Like I'm thinking kind of like the relationship between like a human in Star Wars and like a droid.
Yeah,
kind of, but obviously more expressive, and you know they're not just like these very mechanical like primitive machines. Like they're sophisticated in the World of Horizon. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly. No, I get it.
Yeah. But I'm trying to think of anything else I really want. I think this. I mean, I'm sure we'll unravel more of like what we want out of this new game as we go on in the series. But yeah. I mean, overall, like, is there anything that you left off that you want to make sure we get on the record before we end this first episode? You know what I'm saying?
Oh man, I'm just excited. I'm just pumped.
Sir.
You know,
Sir,
Horizon's coming.
It's so close. It's so close. You know what I'm saying?
Can't wait till we cover the delay next week.
God, people, I saw that. I saw those tweets. I'm like, hey, let's not put that energy out there. You know what I'm saying? Listen,
I don't need that type of negative crap in my social medias.
I'm sure within 2 weeks, even I wouldn't be surprised if it's next week. You know, I'm sure we get a Gone Gold tweet.
Oh,
you know what I'm saying? You know,
yeah.
I'm sure that's imminent. I'm sure they're like almost there.
I'm knocking on my desk.
That's what I'm saying. They're dotting
times.
some I's and crossing some T's. You know what I'm saying? It's almost there. But until we get to Gone Gold, of course, MrBadBit, where can people find you?
Man, you can find me as always over at MrBadBit on Twitter. You can find me also at PS Trophy Room on Twitter, the official Twitter of the Trophy Room, a PlayStation podcast, again, where me and my best friend Kyle talk about the latest and greatest in all things PlayStation. So if you love my lovely voice here, then check me out there at the Trophy Room, a PlayStation podcast, wherever you find your podcast service of choice. And dare I make one more little plug that we are also doing a Horizon Forbidden West giveaway if we're able to hit 300 Apple reviews in North America. We are giving away a copy of Horizon Forbidden West. So if you're into that, again, make sure you plop us a 5-star review with your Twitter handle attached to it so that we can shout you out and get a chance to win a copy of an amazing game for sure.
I will do that. However, I do not want to win if I'm picked, obviously.
Fair.
You know what I'm saying?
Fair
I
enough.
feel that'd be a little bit, disingenuous. You know what I'm saying? But I will definitely leave a review, of course. And all those links down below in the description to MrBadBit's Twitter, the PS Trophy Room YouTube channel, the PS Trophy Room Twitter, and we're going to pimp a little bit more on that PS Trophy Room Spotify. We'll put that down below as well. If you have Spotify, definitely go hit up that. But, of course, he is also on Apple Podcasts and all that great stuff with the great and powerful Kyle Stevenson, of course. You know what I'm saying? But this has been Road to Forbidden West, episode 1 in the pipeline. If you enjoyed, make sure to catch the show here on youtube.com/PlayStation Source, as well as podcast services like Apple Podcasts, Google Play, Spotify, etc. via that anchor link down below in the description. Like the video, rate the podcast, help us get seen by more viewers. Of course, down below, let us know what you like or dislike about the show, and connect with us further on Twitter and Discord in the description. Once again, hit that join button, become a Prince tier member or a King tier member as well. Shout out to all you guys. And of course, if you want some streams, we're streaming Horizon Zero Dawn until we're done with the game. You know what I'm saying? So we're definitely doing that on the channel, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday usually. And yeah, I think that's about it. I think that's the first episode. I think do you remember the outro for this channel? I think you do, right? If not, I got you. Yeah. It's like we're
help me out.
So I'm gonna say, thank you all for watching, and as always, I'll do a little pause, and then we'll both say, "Greatness awaits."
All right, ready?
At the same time.
Ready?
You know what I'm saying, all right, here we go.
Okay.
Thank you all for watching, and as always, greatness awaits.
Greatness awaits.
Greatness awaits.
Close.
I like that hand countdown. Next time we'll run it back and we'll do it. Okay.
All right. Good.
See you guys next week.